So, okay, so that's the record button pressed on the podcast, on our first podcast. And hello, this is Trust Us, We're Designers, which is our first We Are Duo live podcast. We're also streaming live on YouTube and on Periscope. And we've had some people stick with us for the last 45 minutes on Periscope as we've been trying to set up all the audio or all the video equipment. I think the stream isn't particularly great, so probably be a bit of fiddling going on with that. But I suppose we'll say who we are. We're a graphic design studio in Northern Ireland called We Are Duo. We're based in a town called Mollusk, just outside Belfast, in Northern Ireland. So we're a graphic design studio and a web development studio, and my name is Mike, and I set up We Are Duo, and this is Adam. Say hello, Adam.
I'm Adam. I'm the web developer for We Are Duo. I've been working here just over a year now. It's been fun so far.
So we're basically what we're going to try and do in these podcasts is, I suppose, just we struggle putting a blog up on our website. Really, it's a lot of effort to write stuff. It doesn't it doesn't
saying that it just took 45 minutes.
45 minutes to set this up. Yeah. So you can imagine how much of a disaster everything is whenever we're trying to create stuff for ourselves. So really, rather than sort of trying to sit down and write stuff, I suppose we're trying to kill 3 birds with one stone. So that, we'll be able to create content for our website in terms of blogs, and we'll be able to answer some questions live through our Periscope and our YouTube streams. We'll be able to answer some questions that are sent in to us. We'll be able to talk about some stuff that's been on our minds about graphic design. Maybe share some things that we've been doing and answer some of life's great questions about graphic design. But also probably, and I would imagine the majority of the podcasts and streams will just be us talking about what we're doing at the weekend, what we are, what we've watched on TV, what film we've watched lately that I've hated. So the other members of the team are Lewis, who's a graphic designer as well. He's off in France at the moment. Turning around. He's gone to the football tournament, the Euro 2016 tournament. And our intern Sinead, she's not in today. So we'll probably we'll swap it around. Sometimes it'll be me and Adam. It'll be me and Lewis. It'll be me, Adam, and Lewis. We'll also get in some clients of ours, some people that we work with on projects, like Amy, who works on PR with us. So just it's going to be kind of chill. It's not going to be boring. Should be interesting. We'll try and answer some questions, I suppose. To if anyone has any questions, wants to talk to a graphic design studio. But I suppose to say a little bit about who we are. We are Duo. Our website is www.weareduo.co.uk, and we are a graphic design studio and a web development studio, and the first half of that is creating identities, design for print, branding, identities, logos, packaging, all that sort of side of it, designing websites, applications, user interfaces, working with clients to sort of realize their potential in terms of their visual brand and identity from start to finish. Work with quite a few startups, and then the other side of it is Adam's side of things, which is web development, and building websites and trying to make fun things for people. We do have some questions coming in through here and Periscope. we will get to answering some questions on Periscope. We'll have a wee segment where we can answer some questions that come in, but we'll get to that. So we try and combine the two sides of design together here in We Are Geo. So a client can come in and gets a fully backed up experience for graphic design, and then a fully qualified web developer.
Yeah. that they can make the designs come to life.
Come to life.
Come to life.
Yeah, you make the designs come to life with all your skills.
That's it.
But I suppose this being our first podcast is going to be a lot of setting the scene of who we are. As I said, I'm Mike, and I went to art college here in Belfast and left and worked for a company, a studio here in Northern Ireland, a very good studio, but I stayed very short time because I wanted to set up my own studio. So somewhere between 2009 and 2010 got everything together and set up to create We Are Geo, and started with another guy, a friend of mine called Colin, who still works in the background here as a freelance software developer since leaving We Are Geo. So then in 2010 set up the name We Are Geo Limited and got cracking and built on clients, did more work, really understood that having web as a partnership in We Are Geo was crucial, I think, to being able to supply clients with a good quality package for their design, and they can come to one place. So then, as Adam said, he joined last year, and so say who you are, where you came. What's your name and where did you come from?
My name's Adam. I studied at the University of Ulster. Graduated 3 years ago. I've been working in the industry now for 3 years. I was working in Kilkeel for 2 years.
And where is Kilkeel, Adam,
Kilkeel.
for the listeners that don't know?
Kilkeel is the middle of nowhere.
Right.
No, it's a lovely little town, sort of more south off Northern Ireland. And then I moved back to my hometown and started to work for We Are Geo. I've now been here a year, and it's been great. Yeah,
you just sort of stumbled across We Are Geo, didn't you? And you the ad that I'd put up for I need a web developer.
Yeah, on your blog post, I was just looking about for a job, and you guys appeared, and I was like, yeah, applied.
Aye, they'll do.
Yeah, they'll do.
Aye, I'll do.
They look good.
Aye, they're close to my house.
They're close to my house. 5 minutes away. No.
Yeah. How do I pretend that I've wanted to work here all my life? The truth comes out now, doesn't it? Really?
No. Well, I'm still half an hour away.
Oh right, yeah. Well, you've moved.
I've moved.
So that's on you.
Yeah.
You moved further away. But let's not get away from the truth. That is, you just wanted to work here because it was close to your house.
That's not true.
I mean, Tesco's was close to your house too, but
no, I sort of stumbled upon your blog post, had a look at some of your work, and was like, oh, these guys look good. I'd like to work there. It's been good fun.
Well, that's good. I mean, I suppose we try to make it fun, don't we?
Yeah, it's been
with things like this.
Yeah.
It's not your average day in a studio.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So
it's nice to break it up and do different things like this as well.
Yeah, I think it can get very repetitive, can't it?
Yeah.
I think this week has definitely been one of those weeks where it's been come in, get that coding on.
Yeah, just focus, headphones on, and
get your code on. And then for me, well, I've had to do so much admin in the past couple of weeks. I mean, that's one of the downsides of running a studio, I suppose, is a graphic designer wants to do graphic design all the time, but unfortunately, whenever you decide to be a graphic designer that runs a business, you have to do a lot of admin and reply to emails and set up meetings and issue quotes and follow up payments and send out invoices and do your accounts. Oh, cheaper! You know, it's
things.
Yeah, all the things that really aren't just moving shapes around on the screen, which is the fun stuff. So, it's been one of those weeks, hasn't it? It's been just trying to do all that and only really had time to do design, I suppose, yesterday and today, which I'm now eating into about. Hey, do you want to do a podcast today? Do you want to do our first ever podcast today? Well, I think it would have been quicker had I known how to live stream, but now they seem to have changed things since the last time I did it. So
will you be able to do that again? Do you remember how you done it?
Yes, I remember how to do it.
Good.
So yeah, and hello to people watching on YouTube and on Periscope. Caesar Perdomo, who first found us on Periscope, has now found us on YouTube. So hello. You're becoming well acquainted with We Are Geo, and you can hopefully you'll well, I haven't quite figured out where we're going to put this podcast once we've recorded it, but it'll be up on our website anyway, so be able to download it from somewhere. I don't know, like iTunes, or Apple weird about podcasts?
I don't know, it's something I haven't ever had to do, so
I know
I'll
it's
upload them, but I suppose there's quite a few podcasts up there, so
there's different places you can put podcasts. So I wonder, does iTunes, are they one of the ones that sort of monopolize it and go right, if you want it on iTunes, and it's always going to be on iTunes, you're never going to put it anywhere else? I don't know.
Sure. We'll figure that out anyway.
Well, I mean, I suppose we can answer some questions now. If anyone has any questions, wants to ask us some questions there on our YouTube stream or our Periscope. Even though I don't think anyone's that interested in Periscope right now in this second. Crook Patrick, which is definitely a Irish name for sure, has just joined us on Periscope. So welcome. What is your current position on? I don't understand. Ligers? Oh, is this Lion Tigers? Is that what he's asking us? And what's your current position on Ligers?
I'm not sure.
Crosses? Is this something I don't understand? Are you asking us what is our current position on a cross between a lion and a tiger? In which case, I mean, this is going to be a very long podcast because I have some very strong feelings on ligers. Not lagers, but ligers.
Lagers?
Yeah. How do you feel about lagers?
Lagers. I don't know.
Good weekend. Many a lager is drunk.
Yeah, lagers.
Well, just without any further context or clarification, how do you feel about a liger, a cross between a lion and a tiger?
I think that would be a good hybrid,
An ultimate.
I think someone should make that happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen. No, I think, well, I don't know. I think people do try and cross lions and tigers, don't they?
Could be, a crazy killing machine.
It'll end us all.
Yeah.
This is a strange design podcast, isn't it? Like, we talk about lagers, but lagers. I mean, I suppose this kind of gives you an insight into the way We Are Geo is. We get on, how we get on. We I suppose we're kind of like a pinball machine, in terms of, something comes in, we're like a fly, it's trapped inside a room or inside a glass box, just bouncing around. And like, well, we do some design. No, let's talk about something else now. I think, as we said, it's good to break up the monotony of the day.
Yeah.
With a bit of, because I mean, it's funny, like, conversations about the stupidest of things can always seem to lead back to design.
Yeah.
in some way. So although I don't know how to like get a liger conversation right.
The liger.
I don't know how to get a cross between a lion and a tiger right to do design. So I suppose we were going to talk about if there was any sort of any design that we had seen lately that or anything, even any adverts or anything like that we've seen that that works well, or we think works well in the media. It's hard to ignore that, isn't it? Like, someone just made a comment there on Periscope. It's hard to stay. Oh, he made a comment and then run. It was like a drive by there. It was like hard to ignore that.
That was a bit harsh.
Anyone on listening or on the other channels can maybe infer from context, but no, we're not. I am married, and Adam is engaged, both to women. So that just that'll answer that question.
Yeah.
Probably cut that out of the podcast. So I suppose one of the things we were going to ask was if there was anything. Any bit of design, website, printed material, identity, or advert, or anything that we've seen, or even app that we've seen that's good. I was going to come to you first, but I know you said before we started I can't think of anything. So have you thought of anything since?
I haven't thought of anything. Like, I suppose this is completely away from what we do, but we've been watching like quite a lot of videos, like surf videos.
Okay.
It's like some short videos of
Yes,
guys from here.
We should add context to that you are a qualified diver.
Yeah.
And you like all things water sport.
Pretty much, yep.
And so Adam's Facebook feed is basically shark videos and surfing videos, really, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much sharks. Surfing, diving. That's just what my Facebook feed consists of. Don't really use Facebook for anything else. None of the sort of social aspects of it. Just to look at surfing, diving, and sharks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of the same, I suppose, in that. I kind of got off Facebook. But yeah, I was kind of using it for what's happening in movies, what's happening in games, and then it was various cat videos and dog videos or fail videos. Fail videos were such a huge waste of time.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You know what? I'm gonna try and clear this frog out of my throat. So yes, what did you like about the surf videos?
Yeah,
well, what do you like about diving and water sports in general? I suppose what would be more talkable.
With I suppose with diving and all the water sports I do, I just like to be in the water. I like to explore it, and I think
just a wee sweet microphone. Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. Then the phone's ringing. Which I tell you what, you answer the. See,
okay.
This is a live studio. You answer the phone, and I'll continue. But I'm busy, so I'll take a message.
Take a message, yeah.
So we'll just try and turn down Adam's microphone. So I mean, a bit of graphic design that I've seen that I like. I suppose it's not so much graphic design. It's an advert for an app. And I saw it yesterday. It was on TV again yesterday. I've seen it a couple of times. It's a fantastic advert. I think it's basically I think it's for a money management app. It's called B. I think it's. It basically it starts off it's kids, I think, using their imagination. It's meant to represent kids playing in the playground, and there's some dressed up as astronauts or whatever, and they're running around trying to shoot an alien, and one's talking to a dinosaur, and there's cops and robbers, and it's such an elaborate realization of imagination. You can see the kids are having a great laugh, making the advert, and it really conveys what it was to be like a child, and playing make believe, I suppose. But the supporting text that comes with the advert is, we weren't born worrying about money, so why do it now, or something, or why continue now? Have you seen that advert for an app called B? And it's basically kids acting out their imagination. And there's the cops and robbers, and there's the kids dressed up fighting an alien, and but it's meant to be like, it cuts then to them in the playground, but these are like, it's quite an elaborate.
I don't think I've seen it. No.
It's I think it's a really good advert, I think. And it's like the tagline of it is, we weren't born worrying about money, so why start now, kind of thing. And it's to try and promote you using this app called B. I think it's set up by a bank.
Okay, and is it?
But it's a money management app. So
yeah, it's good advertising.
It's really, like, I mean, the way that they've done it, I mean, as well, I think that they've clearly said to the kids, like, have fun doing this, and you can see them having fun in the advert, and it's done quite casual, and it's not put on, I think, is what I like about it. So we'll just nip over to some questions there. Hello to the people watching, and hello from across the water, and thank you to Zoe Gale, who shared us there on Twitter. By all means, please ask us some questions there. You can find us also on YouTube. We're also streaming on YouTube, and we'll be putting this podcast up. Did you ever have to design any band logos? Yes, I did actually have to design. I think I've designed 2 professionally anyway.
Okay.
I've been asked to design other ones.
What bands were these for?
One was for a band that I was in, so that's kind of cheating.
That's still.
But it was actually quite. It was kind of good because, I mean, it wasn't. It was a band that I was in. It wasn't my band. I wasn't in charge of it. The guy that was in charge of it had been in other bands, and he, I think he had a bit of a measure of success, so he knew what to do and where to go to promote the band, and we ended up playing some great gigs with some great bands. We supported Soak. Soak, she had a few songs out. Yeah, we supported Soak. First time I'd ever heard of Soak was whenever we supported her, and now she's famous and I'm not. You
never know after this podcast.
Shoot straight to the top. Then we also supported Frightened Rabbit, which you've maybe not heard of, but I mean, I think they're a well-known band. I think they were playing. I think they played on James Corden's late night show or something there. I think they were playing there a few weeks ago. So I designed the logo for that band. The band was called Amidships, and released a couple of EPs, and there was posters. Then fell to us to design, or to me to design if we were headlining a show. I think some of the venues were like, we can give you a crappy poster, or you can supply us with one. So I would design the poster. But again, it was another exercise in maintaining the image of the band. It's the same as anything else. It was, you wanted to convey the aesthetic of the music, which is weird because music's audio, it doesn't actually have a physical aesthetic, but you know what I mean, the feeling of the music, it had to have the right sort of supporting aesthetic. So it so I mean, there was a couple of logos. There was another one, it was sort of like a that's a good question, actually. We'll come back to that one. it was sort of like a group of musicians, and sort of a touring band, and I think it was multifunctional. Different people came in and came out of the band, and what were they called? The Rain Project, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I had to come up with a logo for them. So I've only done.
Were these all Irish and Northern Irish based bands, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, we've had requests from a few people since to We Are Geo about, can you design a logo. Unfortunately, I think they're not big bands with big budgets. So I think whenever they try to engage a professional design studio, I think probably unfortunately their budget doesn't quite match the reality of what it actually costs to design a logo. We got a question there saying, what type of projects bore you? I think that's quite a good question.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, what sort of projects bore you as a coder? I mean, this is very our jobs are different, because mine's very visual and yours is writing code.
Yeah,
so you have to like code in order.
Yeah. I suppose something that's not like a type of project in general. I'd say.
You go. I'll keep talking.
Yeah.
Or I'll keep. I'll get there.
Yeah. A project that would bore me. I suppose something that isn't challenging. Something that I could, that it's just writing code, writing simple HTML and CSS, and there's nothing there that's going to challenge me to push my skills further, or something that I have to think about a wee bit more than just putting in content, and just writing extremely simple code, would be something that would probably start boring me if it was a long tedious project that was there was no challenges in it. I think that's the sort of project that would bore me.
Yeah, I mean, if it's just kind of by the numbers, there's nothing new in it. I mean, I think whenever we're designing, we always sit down together and we try to come up with creative stuff, but it depends very much on the client. And if you suggest this thing to them and go, we'd love to do this and this and this, but obviously it's going to add like 2 weeks to the project, and they go, well, no, we don't really want to pay for an extra 2 weeks to do this. And it's thankfully though, we do get quite a few clients that are not nowadays at the level that we are, for having been going as long as we have. We get clients that are coming to us to see what we can do, rather than I just want this. How quickly and cheaply can you make it, kind of thing. For me, what kind of projects? That's another good question from December 85 or Deck 85. I don't know which. Well, we'll have to remember that one. The type of projects that bore me are, I suppose, Declan. So it's Deck, not December. Or maybe it's Declan December 85. Is it? I don't know. I suppose it comes down to the client. If the client's quite closed-minded. Sometimes you get clients that don't understand what our role actually is for them within their project or within their business, and we end up kind of trying, being anything that we do we sort of end up being the kind of the design monkey for their idea. I don't mind clients. I mean, I encourage clients to come in with their ideas. Because I like to know what they're thinking and what they have seen that they go, I think this would be good for us. But it's whenever, you like, we are designers, we're trained to follow a process and reach a considered conclusion for that client that should be right for them, should be the right aesthetic, should be answer all their questions and problems, should reach the right target audience. But whenever the stuff that you're doing ends up going, no, take that out and make that more, I think if a client wants to make the project more boring, then it becomes really boring.
Is there a type of sort of design work that you would find boring, that you don't really like doing, or is it just you like doing it all, or is there something that you...
I suppose it's more apparent whenever you're doing it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
That's a tough question. Is there anything I particularly find boring when doing? To be honest, as I said, if the client is good to work with and you've got the design and the branding well established, to that point, it's none of the elements that you might have to, or the deliverables within the project are boring. Then, again, if it's a client that's going, here's our really boring stuff that we want to take you down a really boring route, then doing a flyer is going to be boring. I suppose the easier question, or the easy answer, would be I don't think designing a website is ever boring.
Okay. That's
because I think no matter how boring they try to make it, there's still a lot to consider.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really want necessarily boring websites. But some of the other stuff can be quite, they can bore down or whatever a logo, and bore down branding, and whenever you're trying to work through a lot of that stuff. Another question there from Declan: have you ever disagreed with a customer about where they should be going or give advice? Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Ooh. So putting my hand in front of the mic means that you can't hear me very well. There we go. Yes, I have disagreed with a client.
Yeah.
I think that's your responsibility. I think if you're putting yourself out there as you are a professional designer, and this is a professional design studio, then I think it's your responsibility that to disagree with the client. At the end of the day, a client's job is to sell their product or their service. They don't always know what's best for them, or they can be misled or misguided in what they think is best for them. So I've never ended up in a screaming match across it. That's horrendously unprofessional.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. But I do disagree and think no, we can't. I suppose to take an example there, recently we had a client that came in, and it's a very sort of a vlogger project.
Okay, yeah.
It's not sort of like a social media kind of based sort of project, and we disagreed with how they were doing it.
Yeah, with some elements, and then as well, so you sort of, suppose it's like when you do disagree with something, you always sort of give a positive as well back on what they with those guys. It was what they were doing right as well. So
Absolutely.
it just wasn't. Don't do that. Just
You can't like break someone down and then not. Yeah, I mean they were doing stuff that was right, but they were doing stuff that was wrong, and you have to tell them, even if it was like it was particularly awkward, in one particular way, but or in one particular issue, but it was. You have to. If you genuinely, the way to come at it is, if you genuinely care about the client and what they're doing and the success of the project, then you have to be honest. But being honest isn't like, some people say, I'm just being honest, that's just me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, don't be a dick about it. It's
pretty much.
It's yeah, you have to be honest if it's for the best interest of the client. Yeah, you do have to disagree.
Yeah.
And in terms of advice, you give out advice all the time. You always advise a client. Is there any? Can you think of any clients we've advised lately, other than that one I just mentioned?
I suppose.
Fit Crusher.
Yeah, I suppose. Just again, it's sort of giving him his advice on where he should go and things like that.
Yeah.
With his product that he's creating.
I know I mentioned the name. I probably shouldn't mention names of clients, should I?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's it's probably a big issue. No. But yeah, he has some pretty solid ideas in the direction he wants to go.
And I think I think with him, we sort of had a different view on what way we were going to take his project. Just because it is a startup, for his benefit, what way we were going to take that. But then he's pretty adamant that he wants to do it a certain way, which is fine. So I think that project in general, I think moving. I don't think it was more of a disagreement or anything. I think that one was sort of just more different ideas on things, and we sort of advised what way would maybe be best for him, to start and then to phase in the next stage. So
I think we were able to take. I think in one particular aspect, there's an element of his site. You know, he had an idea. I wanted to do this, and this, and we were able to go, well, you can't do that because it would open yourself up for X, Y, and Z to happen. You're going to get negativity come in there, and probably you'll not be able to manage that. You know, it's those sorts of things that it's our responsibility to think ahead and go, well, you're leaving yourself open for this, so don't do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. I think it's a good thing to consider when you are sitting down with a client, to think of what is the best option for them, rather than just firing a load of money at something that might not work. Or I think it is a good start. Base to start is to talk through something like that, and that was a good example of sitting down and giving advice to the client, and then working with the client to find out exactly what they want from that.
Well, I think we haven't got any other questions there for the time being, so we'll move on to sort of the final portion of our podcast, which is a little bit more general and fun. I suppose it's just a little bit to close off. Is there anything that you're looking forward to doing this weekend, or watching on television or cinema, Adam?
I think catching up with Game of Thrones is my main plan this weekend. Because you guys have
yes,
been wanting
we
to talk
are
about it, and
you are shamefully behind.
Yep, I watched an episode 5 the other day, so I think I have 2 more to watch. Isn't that right? Are they that far ahead?
I don't know. Are we up to? Where are we up to? Hold on, I need to look on IMDb.
Yeah, so I'll be catching up on Game of Thrones probably tonight and tomorrow. And then Sunday, hopefully going for a dive.
And where are you going diving?
I'm not sure yet. Probably Strangford somewhere. But I'm not 100% sure. I did get an email about it last night. So I'll just go and jump in the water and go see some fish.
Back to Game of Thrones very briefly. You've seen the first 5?
I think I've seen the first 5.
So you've seen the episode entitled "The Door"?
No, maybe. Is there
Come on,
two left?
The Door.
Yes,
right.
yes. Sorry.
I'm
yes.
like, if you don't know what that means,
yep,
like I'm
right.
trying to not give away anything to anyone who hasn't seen Game of Thrones.
I've seen that episode.
Yeah, I was like, if you don't know what I mean whenever I say "The Door," then I question whether you've seen it or not, or if you've been paying attention. So you've 2 episodes to go to get caught up, and then there's another one that comes out then on Sunday night.
So I'll be ready.
So you could still potentially be 3 episodes behind if you don't get
if I don't
a
watch
move
them.
on. So you need to get caught up on Game of Thrones. Yeah. And sorry, yes, you're going diving in Strangford Lough.
Most likely Strangford. Could be Ardglass. I'm not sure.
Oh, you got an email.
I got an email last night,
and you didn't read it.
But I didn't read the full email. I just said, I'm going. So
wherever it is, I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So you're off to Tahiti tomorrow.
Yep. So.
To swim in a cage with sharks.
Yep. Without the cage.
Yeah, without the cage. Yeah.
Yeah.
To swim outside of a cage.
Yeah.
With sharks, to pretend to be a shark and live among them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, it's been nice knowing you.
Yeah.
I guess that means that there's a job vacancy available come Monday.
Yeah. That's if I go to Tahiti.
If you go to, yeah. Well, probably there's no sharks in Strangford Loch.
No,
Or
it
Hourglass.
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be anyway. Yeah.
A bit cold.
Bit cold. Yeah. It's gonna rain, I think, as well this weekend. We've had a good spell of hot weather there.
Yeah, it's been nice. Weather's been good.
But yeah,
thunder and lightning.
Thunder and lightning forecast again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Someone got hit by lightning. Did you see that?
I seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
A family was it?
A father and 2 kids, and
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen any update, but very.
Yeah. No, right. Yeah.
Like, I was going to say very 1 in a million thing, but it is, isn't it? You'd say it's as rare as a lightning strike, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
pretty is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty mad.
What I think they were just walking back to the car.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. They were
they got
like
hit by
out for a
lightning.
walk for the afternoon.
Yeah,
and
crazy. Well,
struck by lightning.
I don't know. I don't know what their current medical status is, but hopefully they're
Yeah, I
okay.
think I read yesterday that the boy is now stable.
Okay.
But yeah,
The dad's probably.
Dad, I haven't heard anything more about that.
Well, hey, I don't know. You know, they say that like lightning will go for like a tall point. I
Yeah.
suppose he would have been the tallest out of
Out of
the
him
2
and his
kids, so
family,
he
yeah.
might have taken the brunt of it. Like, it might have gone through him. He might have, if he was holding a hand of a kid,
Yeah.
gone through him and transferred to the child.
Yeah.
You get terrible burns, would you not, from that?
Yeah,
You know?
Assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, electric, pretty much firing through your body.
Mm. Not
nice.
Not nice. No.
Not nice.
Not nice.
Not nice
No.
at all.
There you go. There's Adam. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
headline. Adam says lightning strike. Not nice.
Not nice. No, not so nice.
Yeah. I don't really know what I'm gonna.
No plans.
Well, I might try to do a little bit of gardening, I think. Yeah, still trying to get our garden in order.
Yeah.
Married life.
Yeah.
But you know what? I say that and it sounds like I'm being boring, but I love it.
Yeah. Doing the
Yeah.
garden.
I love it. I never really wanted to go out and get pushed anyway.
Yeah.
I never, yeah. And I mean, I'm only 31. I'll be 32 in a few months. Well, 6 months. So I'm 31 and a half is what I'm trying to say. It's not like I'm an old fogey. Well, I am an old fogey in a 31 and a half year old body. But it, yeah, I've never really wanted to go out on the town.
On the lash.
Yeah, I've never, it's never really appealed. That just sounds like so much effort.
Yeah.
It's more effort than that, yeah. I mean, imagine going out. I mean, and everybody doesn't, they don't go out until like 11.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm awake at 11, I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
If I'm awake at 11, I am almost certainly in bed watching television or something.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, watching a movie. Like, you could not pay me to go out on the town.
So you're not out this weekend?
No.
You're not out this weekend.
I will very happily be toiling in my garden.
Yeah.
Well, weather permitting. If not, then I'll probably just watch a Disney film.
Some Harry Potter.
That's not a bad idea. I haven't watched Harry Potter in a while. I know, you're not a Harry Potter fan or a Disney fan. I don't know what we have in common. I'm surprised we've been able to talk for almost 45 minutes, considering how little we have in common. Well, we'll probably, I mean, we could talk about movies and stuff, but I think that would probably be 45 minutes in itself.
Yeah.
So we'll probably wrap it up there. Thank you very much for tuning in on Periscope, and thank you very much for tuning in on YouTube to watch this live. Thank you very much for downloading the podcast and listening to this. We hope you enjoy it, and we hope that you'll come back for our next one. When is our next one?
When Lewis comes back and talk about
that's
his...
a long time to wait for another
I know,
podcast.
he's away
3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should we try and do one every Friday? Now that we know how to do this.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, we could get this all set up in 5 minutes. We could
So next Friday.
next Friday. We'll try and do one a week. Will we?
Okay.
Until we run out of things to talk about,
Yeah, sounds
or
good.
until we're busy, or
Yeah.
something. Something happens. Well, I mean, we're slammed busy.
Yeah.
Not that you would have guessed by us sitting here talking for 45 minutes, but yeah, I mean, unless we literally don't have a second to spare, then we'll not do a podcast.
So next Friday.
We'll try and come back next Friday. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been Mike and Adam from We Are Geo. So goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
And goodbye. And remember, trust us. We're designers.
Yeah.
That's the sign off. Okay. So
Yeah, we'll get better at it at the time.
I don't think that was too bad.
Yeah.
I think you did. I think you did rather well.
Yeah. Yeah, you've done good. You've
Yeah.
radio voice. So
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, I've had to turn the bass up loads so that
okay.
I sound a little bit more. I mean, this is probably what I really sound like, which is like
hopefully people understood me.
Yeah. just really tinny is how I would sound probably. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. So I'll just put that back. There we go. Get my deep voice. Yeah. No, I think I'm all right.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
We're still recording.
Suppose we are, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh dear.
Right. Well, goodbye. YouTube. Probably Caesar's the only one there. Hello, Maylam. We're just and you're away again. So,
Alright.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello and goodbye. Hello, the PR killer, and goodbye because we're about to finish. You'll be able to download our podcast. Whenever it's edited.
Yep.
I'm probably just gonna go raw with it, like
Just stick it up.
just stick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably find a wee bit of intro music for the start and a wee bit of intro music or outro music for the end,
Yeah.
and then just stick it up. I think. Cool beans. All right. Well,
You
goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
You'll have to beep out your swearing in it.
I think that's fine to leave in. Surely.
Yeah,
What did
well,
I say?
No, I don't know. Can't remember.